it's Wednesday the 12th, and today we're talking about temper tantrums.
And Tristan knows how to throw one. The conversation starts now, only on Foster Life. It's Wednesday.
Good old Wednesday.
Foster Life, June the 12th. Man, we had a busy weekend.
Yeah, we sure did.
You know, a lot of people think that we get on TV and just look pretty, but we actually had a car wash and we had a yard sale here at our Foster TV studios.
Yep.
So that we could give back to the community, one, but also to help raise money so that we can continue to serve foster families and the foster community coast to coast around the country. And it was a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Well, the people were so surprised whenever we were like, oh, it's just a donation.
Right.
They were like, what's the price on things? We're like, oh, just donate whatever you want to. They were astonished almost whenever it was just a donation. And then to find out like what the donation was going to.
Right.
I mean, they stayed all day and just talked to us about that topic.
Yeah, and the thing about it is whenever we do these types of things, I'm always amazed at the kind of people that stop by. Like I had an addict that stopped by that had just moved here from 4 hours away and is living in a sober living place, and he felt like he just needed to come and talk to me and get encouragement. But I know that our marketing person, she had a homeless guy that stopped by, and she was able to talk to him and kind of work with him. So you just never know when we're doing these things to serve back into the community and to also raise money for Foster TV and what we do. You just never know who might show up. You see the news over the weekend.
I did.
The car seats are in the news big time. The governor of Washington, D.C., Governor Jay Inslee, just had a bill signed that goes into effect January 1st, 2020, that requires any child that is less than 4'9", who has outgrown their car seat to be in a booster seat. And the interesting thing about this bill is that could mean that some kids will be in their booster seat up until they're, age 10 or 11, even 12 years old. And so, but interesting enough, I was looking at some of the comments because I asked people what their thoughts were on Foster TV the other day on our social media.
Right.
Canada already does this.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they are for it. I mean, the Canadians that weighed in are really for this, and they think that it's a good safety measure. And kind of my thought is if it protects children in an accident or makes it so injuries aren't as severe or even saves a life, why not?
Yeah.
And so they're thinking, because this governor has done this, that now there will be a bill submitted so that this will be kind of the standard from coast to coast in the United States. So it'll be interesting to see. But for Washington, D.C. folks, that goes into place January 1st, 2020. So if your child is under 4'9", they're required to be in a booster seat until they're above the 4'9" mark. When we come back today, We're going to talk about temper tantrums, and I tell you what, Tristan can throw some tantrums around here, especially when he doesn't get his way.
Yep, that's for sure.
But we're going to talk about temper tantrums today on Foster Life. We'll be back.
I'm Jackson and I'm 12. Last night, my parents were arrested. I don't want to go to a foster home, and they can't find a foster home. I just want to be with my family. Why can't they understand my parents are good?
118,000 children and youth in America are waiting to be adopted.
With your $10 a month contribution, you can help Foster TV raise awareness to get more foster families and get these children adopted. Help us to get the conversation started. Many times when we take kids into care, not only is there neglect and abuse, but a lot of times there's not much structure in the home as well. With that said, many times we take in children that have extreme tantrums. And today we're going to address a little bit about tantrums and where we go from there. So, why do these kids have these extreme tantrums, and what can we do to help them?
Well, I mean, kids in general have tantrums. No matter what we do, they're going to have tantrums.
On top of throwing them into a situation that they're real unsure about and don't know how it's going to be within even that day, they don't know what the parent's going to say, what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times, tantrums from kids in foster care that are extreme generally have to do with lack of control. Mm-hmm. Something they can't control is their voice and screaming and throwing a tantrum.
I'm always confused. And what I get confused on is, how do I know as a foster parent what is attention seeking and what is a legit tantrum? You see what I'm saying? So, for instance, like we had a kid that always would tie crap around his neck, and I would freak out about it. Well, when we went to the doctor and stuff, they said, well, if he puts things around his neck, eventually he would pass out, and then that would release the pressure, and so he's not going to kill himself doing that. And so that was more of an attention-seeking type of behavior, but I get afraid of, what if I think it's attention-seeking and it's life-threatening? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So how do you know kind of the difference?
So one of the main ways to kind of tell the difference is things like wrapping something around their neck, holding their breath until they pass out. All of these things, your body has a natural life preserver in it that's going to be like, once I passed out, I can no longer have the function to hold something tight, to hold my breath. My body's going to naturally freeze out. Mm-hmm. Now, if they're putting themselves in harm's way, like a bag over their head, or staying underwater for long periods of time, cutting themselves, grabbing deadly instruments, then we need to seek some more help.
Right. Okay. That sounds good. So, were you a tantrum thrower?
I can't say that I was.
I was never really a tantrum thrower either, and I think if you so I didn't have a background of tantrums, and that really didn't happen in our house. So it was almost kind of shocking to us when we would see some of these tantrums going on. Now, were you a tantrum thrower?
I may be guilty of a tantrum or two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what was the easiest way for you to be calmed down, or what are some ideas that we can use as foster parents to calm kids down when they're having a tantrum over some type of issue?
Well, tantrums for me happened in the 90s where things were a little bit different.
Right.
Usually it would happen at the grocery store, something I wanted. And I would drop to the ground and start screaming, and my uncle would just kind of grab my leg and pull me down the aisle. I wouldn't suggest that.
Might not want to do that.
But I mean, sometimes you just have to let kids scream it out. Yes, it's embarrassing. Yes, it's annoying. But you have to let them feel the feelings, right, and then talk through it. Like one of the things I found that works really well is getting down on their level when they're in that tantrum. They're probably sprawled out in the chip aisle because they're not getting sour cream and onion chips. That's probably why I have tantrums. And just saying, like, I know you're feeling big feelings right now. Let's breathe through it. Let's figure out what's going on, and just kind of making those feelings valid,
Right.
and like they're being heard, but not necessarily giving in to what they want.
Right. And I think one of the things at the residential facility I worked at, I was the de-escalator. And so whenever they were having these big tantrums, they would call me in. And I think one of the things that I learned is what you were saying, being positive. I understand that you really want this. I understand that you don't want to be here. And the more I would tell them that I understood, the sooner that would start calming them down and kind of taking them back
to
down.
a point where you could even just talk to them.
Exactly. Yeah,
It
because
also gives you a chance to figure out what the real root cause is. Is it really about the sour cream and onion chips? Or are those what mom always thought and you spent time at night watching a movie and eating sour cream and onion chips with mom?
right.
And that's that comfort feeling that you're wanting. In cases like that, you might actually end up buying the sour cream and onion chip because that's what's gonna give that kid a sense of like, this is where I belong. This is a comfort thing. Like mom and I always did this together.
Right.
And it's something you can incorporate into your family.
Right. Keep the conversation going. If you're watching today and you know exactly how to calm down some of these tantrums and some of the things that you've experienced, we want to hear from you. We'll be back right after this on Foster Life. I want you to say yes to Carrie. You know, Carrie has a unique story, but her family was killed in a car accident and has no place to go. No other family, no aunts, no uncles, no grandparents, and is now in state's custody in foster care. The only way that we can get out there and to support these people in need during a very difficult time in their life is with your contribution. We're not looking to get paid huge salaries and live in fancy houses and go in limousines to big parties. That's not why we do what we do. We do what we do because in our hearts, we love these children and we believe in them. And every single person that you see on Foster TV, on the set or behind the set, is doing this for the kids in care. So I'm asking you today, please say yes to Foster TV, and we promise you that we will do our very best in helping these kids in care. Till next time, thank you. Welcome back. It's Wednesday on Foster Life, and today we have Cindy McDaniel with us, and Cindy is new to our team.
Yeah, but we've sure enjoyed having her.
Yeah, she came to us recently. She's been with us a few weeks now, and you have a background in social work.
I do.
About how many years?
About 10 years.
So 10 years in social work, and then you also are now doing our sales and marketing for Foster TV and kind of advising us on different things and whatnot. But one of my biggest pet peeves in the foster world, and I've talked about it many times, is trash bags and kids coming into care or coming to our home with trash bags or with Walmart sacks. I've seen kids that have their underwear and everything in a Walmart sack, and they show up to your house. And I saw an interesting little video the other day, but they took trash bags and it says you have 10 minutes to pack your whole life into this trash bag, and then something to the effect, and then we tell them that we care. let's get the conversation started. And I thought about that, and that's kind of a weird thing. It's like, okay, yeah, you can't live with your parents anymore. You're going to go live somewhere else. Pack everything you have into this trash bag. And by the way, you can trust me, and I'm going to make you feel really good.
Right.
And I don't think that trash bags probably make them feel too important, does it?
No, I don't think it does at all. I think that's one of the issues that kids hold on to is that feeling of feeling very, just demeaning. It's just very demeaning to them, and then they end up holding on and having other residual effects from that as well.
Yeah, I know. Like our one boy, Sam, he said it was just weird because we live in a pretty nice home, so that was a little intimidating in itself because he had really never lived any place like that. And then he comes to meet us, and he hasn't met us, never laid eyes on us, anything. And then he's got all of his personals in the Walmart bags. And he said that it was really, just made him really uncomfortable. And I just would think that there's got to be something that we can do as a community to make that more comfortable for them.
Well, I think it's important, first of all, to have the conversation about it.
Right.
Because we're opening up those conversations to allow kids to talk about those things, and that's something that they haven't been able to do before.
Yeah, just conversation that I have with others, I mean, they didn't even know that this even happened. They thought they'd get picked up in a nice car and go and take like a Nike bag into their new home and everything works out okay. They have no idea that somebody's going to walk into a home with a trash bag, or I mean, just maybe a pair of shoes and a t-shirt and shorts, and that's all they have.
Right.
Well, and I've seen it go both ways. I've seen kids come with either nothing or just a little bit of something in a Walmart sack, or I've seen it go the other way where they have 6 bags, 6 big black trash bags full of just stuff that they've collected over time.
Right.
And that they're trying to, hold on to because it's all they have left. So,
Right. And we were talking before we came on the show today, kind of when we were prepping for the show, and it's interesting. They might come with 12 empty Monster drink cans that they collect because to them that's really all they really had, and that means a lot to them. And we have to be a little bit open-minded to the things that they have in those bags, one, and then two, just really being sensitive to their feelings of having all of their stuff in these bags.
And we don't know if those 12 Monster cans might have, been some kind of a connection with their parent or their siblings or something, and so it does mean something to them.
Right, or it might be somebody in the community that actually gave a care about them, and that's something that they went and did at the park, and they always went and had a, whatever, and then that brings some kind of memory to them. And we definitely want to preserve those good memories, especially because they obviously have experienced neglect and abuse and that type of thing as well. I like what some workers are doing. And I know a worker that does this here locally, but I've also seen other workers comment on this because this is probably my biggest pet peeve. And that would be that they're putting bags in their car.
Right, and filling them.
Yeah, and so they fill their stuff with those bags in their car, they take them, then that worker in Missouri has to be back in 24 hours.
Right.
So they have to come back within 24 hours to check on them or whatever, and so then the worker picks those bags up in 24 hours after they put all their stuff away, and then they have them for the next. And I think if we could get some kind of program like that rolling, that would be really cool.
I think it would be awesome, and I think the first step is opening the conversation about it.
Exactly. When we come back, we're going to wrap up today on foster life.
I'm like, sweet.
Hi, I'm Mitchell. I'm from the Netherlands, and we love foster teeth.
We're wrapping up today on Wednesday, and we've hit kind of a lot of big topics today. So what did you think about the car seats at the beginning of the show?
Well,
what was your view?
The car seat, I definitely like the thought of that. It's just, getting the parents to actually get involved into that bill and actually do what they're supposed to. I think it is a life-changing deal where if you are in an accident, then it'll definitely save your child or have a better chance of saving your child.
Right.
If they're in it and they're short and not able to actually sit in the actual seat.
And I would say that Tristan has some background in this because he works in the insurance business, so he sees this kind of stuff a lot, and so I would guess that you probably, are like me. If it saves a life, and it means that it might be a little embarrassing if your 8th grader is going on his first date to the movies and they both have to be a booster seat, but hey, whatever.
I mean, even if it's just a small percentage that may save this child's life, I mean, me, myself, my family would be doing it.
Yeah. And I think about people that have lost their child, and they would do anything for that child to come back. So even if it is a small percentage, man, it could just save one life.
Right. Don't
It's
risk that
definitely,
chance.
it's definitely worth it, and it's definitely worth the thing. The rest of the show, I'm reminded, these kids that we take in, they're complicated. And, there's going to be tantrums. There's going to be things like trash bags. There's going to be all of those things, and those are making impressions on them, almost like a stamp. And we have to make sure that we are trained accordingly so that this doesn't make such a huge impact on them.
Right.
My older boys, I don't think they'll ever forget packing their crap in Walmart bags and trash bags and moving, and I'm sure that that's a story they're going to tell their kids and other people and whatever, because I know that it's really affected my boys. And so what I'm saying is we got to keep these conversations going through Foster Life, Foster TV. That's why we do this, and we have to make these things change. No change ever started without having a conversation. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to have conversations and share with each other. If you have a really good idea about tantrums, post the comment. Let other families see.
Yeah, thousands of families would love, I'm sure, to read reviews on how to deal with tantrums, how to handle them.
Right, and if you follow Foster Life and Foster TV, we don't get 100 views anymore. We get thousands and thousands and thousands of views. And so your little comment might make a huge difference to several families. And so we want you to share. Coming up Friday, we got a good show. I got a girl that's coming on the show. Her name is Cindy. No, Cinda. Sinden. My producer's saying Sinden. And she is going to sing the Rainbow song that Casey Musgraves sings right now. And every time I hear that song, I think about foster care. So we have a really good show coming up on Friday. You won't want to miss it. This girl is just graduated from high school, and I was in the music business. She's got some pipes on her, and I'm excited to have her on the show. So that's coming up on Friday. Till next time on Foster Life, we'll see you later.
Foster Life is a HEDFRA production, only on Foster TV.